I want the
All right.
link for the live stream. And
We are live. All right. Welcome to the first presidential debate, one of three, plus an additional vice presidential debate. We have the candidates here. Our rules here. Each candidate will get a minute to answer, a minute and 30 opening statements, and please don't interrupt. If you do, a little time's going to be cut out from your statements. And candidates, keep in mind, you don't have to answer questions by other candidates. That might throw you off a bit. You only have to answer questions from the moderators.
I'm Michael Walker, filling in for Zoe Barnes, who has apparently fell in front of a train on her way to this debate. So we're going to begin with opening statements.
All right. Michael Walker, do you have your timer?
Your opening statement. Mr. President, you may begin your opening statement.
Well, I would like the public to actually get the link for the live stream to begin. That would be great, because it hasn't been posted to the community or in this chat.
All right, then I'll get it, Mr. President. Excuse me, Mr. President. All right. Let's see where it is. What else do you want to say? Keep in mind, Mr. President, this is still your time.
Well, the debate hasn't started because
it has already.
So we should allow the American people to view the debate, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but continue on.
The debate in my time should not start until the link is sent out to the public.
Oh my God. All right, we'll restart your time, Princess.
Not my job. You don't know how to run a debate.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to this bad boy. All right. Keep in mind this still says MEC United States RNC for whatever reason, but yeah, I don't want to hear no complaints about that. Keep in mind this still says MEC.
JP, send me the link whenever you're done.
All right, here. All right, now let's begin.
Okay, what's our time on the opening statements? That wasn't discussed. It was only discussed.
I literally told you it was like an hour, a minute and 30 seconds.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that way that people know. Actually, it might be better to go over all the rules so that the actual public can see it.
Son of a bitch! I just did. You could literally go back and just go to your opening statement already. Oh my lord!
Michael, can you go over the rules for the public, please?
Okay, for the public. Each candidate gets 1 minute and 30 seconds to give their opening statement and to answer the moderator's questions, and 30 seconds for rebuttals. We're going to start with President Martinez with his opening statement, and then we're going to go to Wyatt D. Christopher. Your time starts now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walker, for your introduction as well as going over the rules for the debate. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day, which I know is very busy, to help moderate this event. Today, we're going to be watching two individuals who are going to be vying for the position of President of the United States. I will be going for my second consecutive term, whereas my opponent, Mr. DeChristopher, will be going for his hopeful first term. There's going to be a lot of debate, I hope, over what our policies are and how we're going to enact them. And we're going to get into pretty contentious debates, I assume. So I just want to make sure that the American people understand and can coherently understand what each candidate has to say and how they're going to enact their plans. And we look forward to another 4 years in the White House. And I think this debate will solidify that we are the best option for the continuance of American success at home.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. President. Mr. DeChristopher, your time starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America who are watching this debate, tonight, as the president just outlined, you will be watching two candidates who will be eyeing the position of President of the United States. Me and Sam have completely different views on how we will try to govern this country, but at the end of the day, hopefully, I will be proven that I am the only person who will be able to lead this country into the next decade. First of all, I want to thank Michael Walker and JP Senzo and the Herbinger Theater Center in Phoenix, Arizona for hosting us tonight. And I hope that we can have a productive discussion on what our plans are for the future of this country. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Christopher, for that. The first question of the night is going to be directed towards both of the candidates. It's going to be related to entitlements. More than 60 million people each month receives Social Security benefits, totaling more than $74 billion. Polls show that retirement security is a top concern for Americans. Fewer people can count on traditional pension benefits, and some people do not have retirement savings. Do you favor increasing or reducing Social Security benefits? If so, how would you do it? Question will be answered by both candidates. We're going to go for President Martinez first. Your time starts now.
There we go. Well, when it comes to Social Security, our administration has been very specific as to what we were elected to do initially. Our plan for this next term is going to be very simple. We're going to continue what we're doing, and what we're going to propose further with the Congress, and we're going to have a bill coming through the legislature pretty soon anyway. Our goal, and the legislation goal, is going to be to reduce the age for Social Security back down to 65. And we're also going to increase the monthly contribution, or not the monthly disbursement, to Social Security recipients. In addition to that, we're going to tie it in with education because it's a lot to do with lack of retirement planning, as Mr. Walker had mentioned. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie in an education curriculum in the high schools to sort of get people prepared from an early start to start beginning retirement planning, and that's going to lessen the reliance on Social Security as people get older. So it's a two-step process. We're going to reform it now for people who they're getting closer to retirement as is. And we're going to educate the young people that way. Further down the line, we don't have to worry about Social Security being drained. And it will be a supplement to what retirement plans do exist in the country, which the retirement plans will increase significantly once we get this legislation enacted.
Your time has expired. We're going to go to YD Christopher. Same question. Your time starts now.
When it comes to Social Security benefits to senior citizens, it is a very important thing. And all throughout my campaign trail, I have had multiple U.S. citizens over the age of 65 saying, how will you fix Social Security and what will you do to increase Social Security benefits? Well, that's a very simple question. First of all, we need to make sure that we have an established relationship with both chambers of Congress so that we can pass a comprehensive bill that will increase the benefits of Social Security. Now, I really did like the president's response when he said, I believe reducing the age of Social Security. That Social Security is very important because we have people that are 65 years old that are the morally right age to get Social Security benefits, and they're not getting it. So that is my opinion on Social Security.
All right, no rebuttals?
Not really a rebuttal, more of a clarification. The legislation will be passed before the election happens.
Okay.
And what will be in that legislation that will make Social Security benefits better for senior citizens?
Well, if you're listening to my answer, it was decreasing the age for disbursement as well as increasing benefits.
And that's all?
No, that's not all of it, but that's a good portion of it. Man, again, it's being led by the GOP in the Senate and in the House, as opposed to not one Democrat has sponsored the bill. So I want to make that known to the American people.
Wait a minute.
This party is simply not doing anything for Social Security. Not doing anything for seniors.
All right, White speaks.
Order, everybody shut up. We're going to go to Wyatt, and then we're going to go to Mr. Martinez, President Martinez. Wyatt, you get 30 seconds. Your time starts.
First of all, President Martinez, the fact that you said that there has not been one Democrat in Congress who has supported or try to reach out for that bill, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not in Congress anymore. I used to be in Congress.
So you have no responsibility.
No, first of all,
okay, so you have no responsibility to the country. That's
Stop.
Good to know.
President Martinez, please do not interrupt.
First of all, for clarification for the American people, we have a sitting president of the United States who's very disrespectful, and this debate will show that. And what I was saying is that the Democrats that are currently in Congress, you didn't even reach out to them about the bill. And then now you're just trying to blame me because they didn't reach out and now it's my fault because I'm a fellow Democrat. I don't control them.
Okay, you're done.
I don't
Mr.
at all.
Wyatt, you're done. Mr. DeChristopher, you're done.
Common sense.
Mr. Martinez, you get 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
Well, I think the deranged response by my opponent here just shows his incompetence for the future. If you're the Democratic Party's nominee and you're claiming no responsibility for anything that the Congress is doing on the Democratic side, you clearly don't know how politics works and you clearly don't know how to be a spokesperson for your party. As I mentioned, we have tried to reach out to Democrats multiple times and we have not gotten one response back. So if we're going to elect that in the White House, don't expect anything to happen. Expect things to get worse. Social Security is going to dry up. Our foreign affairs are going to disappear. And, God knows what else.
Mr. Martinez, you're done.
I'll let you rebuttal.
All right, one last rebuttal.
Prove it, Mr. President. Prove that not one Democrat has reached out to you because apparently you have asked them for help on the bill or whatever. Prove it. You have no proof whatsoever. With the little proof that you might have is not, at all evident to the fact that you are the sitting president of the United States of America and you do not reach out to the party regarding the bill. So what's your point? For the Democrats in Congress because you did not ask them about the bill? How? Like that makes no sense whatsoever. So please clarify if there's any clarification.
You're done. President Martinez has one more turn, and then we're going to move on.
Thank you.
Your time starts now.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to start off by saying the word is ask, not acts, so we can start there. Number two, if we're looking at proof of the Democrats not doing anything, you look at the legislation that we have passed. Not one Democrat has been on those. And if you're going to say that we have not been reaching out or working with the Democratic Party,
prove it.
You can take a look at my cabinet, and you can see that I've had multiple Democrats in my cabinet, and they've been significant contributors. You can go ahead and
name them. No, name them except for Michael Bloomberg. Name them.
Well, Michael Bloomberg's an independent, so you're wrong there as well.
No, but on your post about your cabinet, it clearly says Democrat.
We're going to move on to the next issue.
I just want to clarify, so apparently Wyatt can interrupt, but I can't. That's good to know.
No, we're going to move on. On the issue of the economy, modern prosperity was created by a huge increase in worker productivity. As the output of average worker increases, so does standard of living. But in recent years, that engine has been sputtering since the deep recession of 2008. Labor productivity in the United States has increased by just 1% a year, less than half the annual pace since 1947. After At the current pace, our standard of living will double once every 70 years instead of doubling once every 30 years. The economy has grown slowly in recent years, and one reason is a prolonged slump in productivity growth. What steps would your administration take to encourage innovation and investment? Going to Mr. D. Christopher first, and then we're going to President Martinez.
Well, first of all, let me point out that President Martinez has been running his campaign. That he, under his presidency, that the economy has been boosting like really, really, really high, which is a lie. The Washington Herald wrote an article yesterday about our economy, and the S&P 500 damn near lost 5%. The Federal Revenue official economy, and the fact that you are claiming that you have created jobs in the United States. From my understanding, you've only created a little bit of jobs. Under my presidency, we will create lots of jobs, and the only way to do that is if we lower the corporate tax. Now, there's another lie that he's been running his campaign on, and that's the fact that I want to raise taxes on the American public. Yet, you wrote an executive order to raise taxes on low income and middle class Americans. It was for clarification, it was your second executive order. But back to taxes. We need to lower our corporate taxes, and we need to tell corporations and businesses that are moving their jobs elsewhere that, look, okay, we do know that corporate tax has been raised because of past administration, but under my administration, we will be more friendlier, and we would like to have the jobs come back to the United States. He has been taking a hostile approach when it came to jobs and investment in corporation, and it is not the right way to do it. So,
okay, your time has expired, Mr. D. Christopher. I'm going now to Mr. Martinez. Answer the question, please. You got your time starts now.
I feel like I'm in the spin room with how many lies are being spouted here today. Just to go back to what my opponent had said about Michael Bloomberg being classified as a Democrat. If you look at my cabinet list, actually, there's not one partisan pick on there. None of them have an affiliation whatsoever. So I don't know where he got the assumption that Michael Bloomberg was a Democrat. Moving forward, in terms of our economy, we have made things a lot stronger. The American dollar is a lot stronger, especially on the foreign exchange market. And we have seen substantial increases in median household income across the country, especially those in the Midwest. When you look at our tax plan, it was a big change for taxes compared to what we've seen in the past. And there's been a very big difference and a very big disconnect between understanding how taxes work, I believe, and what taxes are actually calculated. So when you do taxes, it's not a rate. You don't get taxed at the top rate on all your income. It's a marginal tax rate. Most people who take economics would understand that. Have to understand that. We did lower the corporate tax rate to about 13%, so I don't know how much lower my opponent wants to take it. And if we're looking at tax brackets specifically, it was actually increased quite drastically from the previous administration's tax brackets. So apparently we're screwing the American people by lowering overall. So, I don't know what the response is.
I would like to rebuttal.
Go ahead.
Your time has expired. Okay, so we're going to get a rebuttal. 30 seconds for Mr. D. Christopher. Your 30 seconds start now.
So I believe what you said about corporate taxes is because it's the fact that it's 13%, and you don't know how much lower you want it to be that I want it to be. Yet you are still running a campaign based on a whole bunch of lies, saying that my whole platform and policies is about raising taxes to the American people. Yet again, you wrote an executive order to raise taxes on low income and middle class families. You can't deny it because there's literally a whole post, even on JT.
Mr. D. Christopher, your time has expired. You're done. You're done. President Martinez, would you like a rebuttal?
Again, apparently what I'm saying out loud is not comprehending in the brain of my opponent here. People are not taxed at their highest tax rate. They're taxed on a marginal basis. If you want to Google it very quickly to help you understand it, maybe that would be for your benefit. But if you actually take a look at marginal tax rate, it's gone significantly lower for the lower and middle class people. And our corporate tax rate, I'm actually curious what you think the ideal corporate tax rate would be. If you want to answer that in public.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mr. D. Christopher, you get your 30 seconds.
Mr. President, did you or did
Yes,
you
sir,
not
yeah.
write an executive? Mr. President, did you or did you not write an executive order to raise class families?
I did not.
But you
It
did.
actually lowered.
No, you didn't. That's a
I'm
proven
going to
fact.
again. I'm going
That's
to
a proven
redirect
fact.
you. I'm going to redirect
I'm
you
going
your
to
brain
direct
to
you to
Google
the community.
how taxes work in this country, because it'll be a lesson for
Gentlemen,
you in this
please.
race
No.
as well as in your
Gentlemen,
actual future. If
Gentlemen,
you
please.
One at a time.
Christopher will get 10 seconds to finish his statement, and then we're going to do a rebuttal. So, Mr. D. Christopher, you get 10 seconds, and we're
Oh, no,
going
I'm
back
done.
to the president. And then
Oh,
we're
no, I'm
moving
done
on.
because it's very clear that the president is clearly incompetent. So he's none of my concern.
Okay,
So,
well,
next question, please.
okay, well,
All right.
okay, well.
do I get 10 seconds?
Any other
Yes.
rebuttals? You get 10 seconds. Go ahead. 10 seconds.
Thank you, Michelle. I would just like to let the American people take the time, either before or after this debate, to Google marginal tax rates, understand how it works, and then look at my executive order on taxes. Then you'll see how little American people are actually paying in taxes.
Okay, you're done.
But did you not
Okay.
raise? Did you not try to raise?